They called it the find of a lifetime. A massive iron-bound chest pulled from the murky depths of a forgotten shipwreck off the Carolina coast. For a group of dedicated treasure hunters, it was the culmination of a decade-long search, the stuff of legends. But as they pried open the salt-encrusted lid, they weren't just greeted by the gleam of gold. They were met with an ancient chill, a presence that seemed to cling to every last coin and jewel inside. This is the story of the Blackwood Treasure, a hoard of cursed gold that promised untold riches but delivered something far more sinister. The ship, the Sea Serpent, went down in a ferocious storm in 1718. Its captain, Elias Thorne, was a man known more for his ruthlessness than his seamanship. Legends said he didn't just plunder gold, he stole it from sacred tombs and ancient sites, caring little for the warnings and curses that came with them. The chest was his personal prize, filled with artifacts and coins from forgotten civilizations. Before the Sea Serpent was claimed by the waves, Thorne was said to have screamed that no one but him would ever possess his treasure, that his spirit would guard it for eternity. But for 300 years, his promise held true as the chest lay undisturbed in its watery grave. When the salvage team, led by historian and adventurer Aris Thorner Distant, and frankly embarrassed descendant of the infamous captain, finally located the wreck, the atmosphere was electric. The moment the chest broke the surface, however, things started to go wrong. Equipment that had worked flawlessly for months began to malfunction. The ship's sonar flickered and died. A sudden, unexplained squall kicked up out of a clear blue sky, tossing the salvage vessel like a toy. The crew, hardened sailors and divers, felt an unease they couldn't explain. It felt like the ocean itself was trying to take the chest back. Once they got it ashore and into a secure facility, the strangeness escalated. The chest was opened under the watchful eyes of historians and archaeologists. Inside, it was breathtaking. Piles of Spanish doubloons, intricately carved jade statues, and necklaces dripping with emeralds. But as the team began cataloguing the items, the hauntings began. The first was a security guard, a stoic ex-military man who reported seeing a tall, shadowy figure in a long coat standing beside the chest in the dead of night. When he shone his flashlight on it, the figure vanished, but a blast of freezing cold air swept through the room, leaving the guard shaken to his core. Soon, everyone who came into contact with the treasure experienced something. Whispers would echo through empty hallways. Tools would go missing, only to reappear in impossible places. Dr. Alistair Finch, the lead archaeologist, was working late one evening, carefully cleaning a golden amulet. He heard a distinct, raspy voice whisper his name right in his ear. He spun around, but the room was empty. The temperature dropped so suddenly he could see his breath. He later told his team that he felt an overwhelming sense of pure hatred emanating from the amulet in his hands. He refused to touch it again. The most terrifying incident involved Maya, the team's photographer. She was taking detailed shots of the coins. As she looked through her camera lens, the face on one of the ancient coins seemed to shift and change. For a split second, it wasn't the face of a long-dead king, but a gaunt, screaming face with hollow eyes, the face of Captain Elias Thorne, just as he was depicted in old maritime drawings. Maya screamed and dropped her camera. When they reviewed the footage, there was nothing on the digital file, just a perfect, normal image of the coin. But the terror she felt was real. The curse wasn't just confined to jump scares. Misfortune began to plague the team. Dr. Finch suffered a bizarre accident at home, falling down a short flight of stairs and breaking his leg in 3 places. The project's main financial backer suddenly pulled out, citing a series of inexplicable financial disasters that had befallen him in the weeks since the chest was opened. It was as if a dark cloud had settled over everyone associated with the Blackwood treasure. The promise of wealth had turned into a parade of fear and bad luck. Desperate for answers, Aris Thorne delved deeper into his ancestors' history. He found Elias Thorne's water-damaged journal, recovered from a different part of the wreck. The final entries were chilling. The captain wrote about the gold not as treasure, but as his anchor to the world. He spoke of a dark ritual he'd performed, binding his own spirit to the chest. "This gold is my flesh, this chest my bones," he wrote. "He who touches it, touches me. He who takes it will have me as a constant companion until they return what is mine, or join me in the depths." The curse was real. It wasn't just a legend. It was a written declaration of intent. The team was faced with a choice. They could try to sell the treasure, knowing they would be passing on this malevolent curse to whoever bought it. Or they could do the unthinkable. After much debate, and with the hauntings growing more aggressive, doors slamming, objects flying across rooms, the decision was made. The curse was tied to the treasure, and the only way to break it was to return the treasure to its master. In a solemn ceremony under a grey, overcast sky, the team loaded the chest back onto their ship, Eris. Thorne himself supervised the process. As they returned to the coordinates of the shipwreck, the sea was unnaturally calm, the air thick and heavy. The moment the chest was lowered back into the water, a strange thing happened. The sun broke through the clouds for the first time all day. The oppressive feeling that had clung to the ship for weeks lifted, as if a great weight had been removed, as the chest sank into the blue abyss. Several crew members swore they saw a shadowy figure near the railing, tipping a non-existent hat before fading away. The Blackwood treasure was never seen again. The team returned to shore with nothing but a story: no gold, no riches, just the profound experience of having touched a piece of haunted history. They had no proof of the paranormal events, only their shared testimony. Some called them failures, others called them liars, but everyone who was there knows the truth. They know that some treasures are meant to stay lost, and that the greed of the past can cast a very long, very dark shadow. The real treasure they found wasn't gold or jewels, but the knowledge that some things are more valuable than wealth, like peace of mind and your very soul. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this journey into the unknown, don't forget to like and subscribe for more tales of mystery and history.